Now, before we get started, I would really love if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get the latest content from the YouTube channel, The Last Rewind. And don't be shy about leaving your comments at the bottom of the page because you are the sole reason why this channel will be successful. Thank you. Okay, guys, welcome to The Last Rewind. And before we get into today's subject, please make sure and hit that like and subscribe button so you can get future content from this podcast, The Last Rewind. Okay, so I've been pressured, it feels like, to talk about this. Not sure why I feel pressured because nobody's paying me. But a lot of people have been talking about this subject, and I'm sick of really hearing about it. I've already kind of talked about this before, the same stuff as last year, but it kind of went into a different direction. Of course, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, I don't know what you want to call it. You can call it a rivalry. You can call it big business for the WNBA. I'm not sure if it's big business quite yet. It's big business, I guess, when those two come into town and play each other. But to me, it's always for the wrong reasons. Every time I watch a game between these two, it's like people are expecting to see Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield. Nobody really comes out of it, the casual fan anyway. Nobody comes out of it talking about a basketball play. It's always about someone fouled someone too hard, or someone made a gesture that was coming at the other player. Someone batted an eyelash wrong. Someone wiggled their nose wrong and made the other one sound racist when they had an interview or something. It's always something that has nothing to do with the basketball play, which is what the WNBA sorely needs. I mean, they need people to talk about their basketball. I don't mind, people talking hateful about each other because that's what the NBA was built on, but it just seems like it's a lot of things are much ado about nothing. It's not things that you can look back on and say, oh, yeah, that's definitely was a hard foul. That's definitely going to have them hate. You remember when Kurt Rambis got clotheslined by Kevin McHale in the finals? And that was, they, almost came to blows. They had a brawl in the middle of the game. I think it was in LA. Boston ended up winning that game. And, a lot of people say that's what changed the series. And Boston ended up winning the full series in the finals. This is nothing. Angel Reese got a slightly hard foul from Caitlin Clark, to prevent her from making the layup. I don't know if she's going to make it or not, but she prevented her from making the layup. It was not that big ado about nothing. It did seem like Angel Reese took issue with that foul, like it was, a very hard flagrant foul, I guess, but it was nothing harder that I hadn't seen her take in previous games versus other opponents. So I don't know. I don't know if Angel Reese has a problem with Caitlin Clark to this point. I don't know if this is a put on to maybe draw more attention to her game, and maybe people will watch more of her games because she's playing, seeing what she's going to do next. I don't think the ratings show that, games where Angel Reese is not playing Caitlin Clark. How are those ratings doing? Games where Caitlin Clark is not playing Angel Reese, how are those ratings doing? How are the people coming into the arenas or whatever they're playing in? How much sold out buildings are they having separately from each other? But that's a whole nother issue. The big issue, which shouldn't be a big issue, came from people who don't even play the game, who never even played the game professionally. And that's okay. Like I said, I don't play the game professionally, and I got an opinion. But these two figures, Ryan Clark, former NFL player, and RG3, former NFL player. Ryan Clark had a longer career than RG3, but these guys commentate on, just about anything, but mainly they talk about football. But here they were talking about this foul, which again seemed like it was nothing to have a long conversation about. Just talk about it. Oh, wasn't that big a foul? Move on. Hard foul, a basketball play, whatever you want to call it, and move on. But RG3 came into the mix and talked about it, and he shared his opinion. He shared his opinion where he thinks Angel Reese must hate Caitlin Clark. Now, you can make a good argument for that because, again, I've seen harder fouls on Angel Reese, and she didn't react that way. Caitlin Clark always seems to take the high road when it comes to talking about Angel Reese versus her. She always takes the high road and pretty much speaks glowingly of her. And we first, well, I'm not going to say everybody, but I first heard about Angel Reese after seeing, you can't see me gesture when LSU put Iowa out of commission in the college game and they ended up being the champs. That's when I first heard about her. And it seems like people have been carrying that from college. They're trying to make it a Magic versus Bird thing, but Magic and Bird, I think that's an unfair comparison because they both were very talented cats. I'm not knocking Angel Reese. Angel Reese, she is talented, but she ain't on Caitlin Clark's level as far as talent. She's just not. She may one day be. She is a rebounding machine. Offensively, she's challenged, but rebounding, you really can't find a better rebounder than Angel Reese. But that's just one facet of the game. Like, Caitlin Clark shooting, distributing, a little bit of a rebound, not too much, of course. But she's a guard though, so I ain't expecting that from her. But Caitlin Clark is to me miles ahead of Angel Reese, so I don't think that is a rivalry as far as play is concerned. So why is it a rivalry? Because we're always talking about the antics that seem to happen in between the lines that are not basketball plays. It's just somebody being taunted or somebody laughing on the sideline because someone got fouled hard, which is something Angel Reese did last year. I think when Caitlin Clark took a hard foul, whatever. And I don't know if that's hate or maybe that's just her sticking up for her teammates. But something's off. She don't do that to everybody, so there got to be something there. I don't know if it's hate. Again, I don't know if it's something else. But again, back to RG3, he implemented himself in the conversation. He said he thinks it's straight up hate. And I think he has an argument for that. And he spoke on how she did in between the lines when they both play each other, how she talks about it and all this type of stuff. Then Ryan Clark, he had to interject on his podcast. I forgot the name of his podcast, but he talked about RG3 like, dude, you can't really talk about this. This is a sports opinion. But RG3, you can't really talk about this because you're married to a white wife and you don't know what happens in the homes in the world with African-American women. So we know you're not talking about that at home and stuff. I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to play the clip so you can get a better understanding. But I'm not sure why that has anything to do with him talking about basketball because he never brought up Angel Reese's race or Caitlin Clark's race. And yes, RG3 is married to a white woman. I think this is his second wife. But I hate this because the WNBA, you're not going to grow by alienating your fans. Because that's all I seem to hear from these secondhand fans is black versus white type stuff. And I say that knowing that Magic and Bird had that type of talk back in the day. Of course, there was no social media, but it also that had excellent play. They also talked about how great they played. They talked about buzzer beaters. They talked about layups. They talked about the defense. All we seem to be talking about is antics. I don't care about antics. Give me where the game is good. The game was a blowout. Indiana blew them out the sky, I think, by damn near 30 points. So, and the main thing people talk about was a hard foul or not hard foul. But anyway, back to Ryan Clark. I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play what he said in a minute. And so you can get the full understanding of what he said. And then I'm going to go to RG3's response. And then I'm going to respond after that. Let's hear what Ryan Clark had to say first.
We moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now, if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what Black women deal with.
Okay, let me pause it right there. What does that got to do with him making a comment on a basketball play? What does that got to do with anything? Why can't he be able to point out if the girl likes Caitlin Clark or if he hates her, or she hates her rather? If Caitlin Clark hates Angel Reese or likes her, why does his family, his wife, have anything to do with that? That has nothing to do with that. And I don't know, because this is hearsay. This is a rumor. I don't know for sure. But I understand that Ryan Clark had a white girlfriend that he has a child with. I don't know if he was married to her, but I've heard he had a white girlfriend at one point that he had a child with. And who cares? I don't care. Can you give me straightforward analysis that you can back up with facts? Or it can just be opinion. But to say he can't respond based on who he's married to at home, yeah, he may not have had the conversation. He may didn't. He may never had the conversation with his wife. But you don't know if he did or not. You didn't say unlikely. You didn't say he probably didn't. You say he didn't. Like you stayed with the guy. Like you spent the nights with him for 365 days. Or you asked his wife, hey, wife, do you talk about the things that African American women go through in this country? So he attacked his wife. He might say indirectly, but he did. I don't see what that has to do anything with him making analysis on RG3's response to Angel Reese getting mad over the foul. And again, yeah, you can say, just separate from all the other stuff, maybe she reacted where she should have or not. So you telling me he can't respond at all on any Black WNBA player unless he's married to a Black woman or unless he's in a relationship with a Black woman? He can't respond at all. If that's the case, he might as well just quit. Should he be able to respond with Black male players too? Or is that off too because, he's not married to a Black woman? I don't know. It's foolish to me that he cannot make a opinion about Angel Reese simply because he's not married to a Black woman. Now, if he was talking about relationships and he was saying, things about what, African American women go through in relationships, then you might have a point. But we were talking about basketball, guy. It's basketball. It's basketball, man.
what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back, amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what Black women deal with a lot from Black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over Black women by denigrating Black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlin Clark is as well. Caitlin Clark is a likable and lovable superstar. She pays homage to the stars of the past. She pays homage to the Black women that have come before her. And now she is carrying the mantle forward.
Again, if we want to have a conversation, we can have another podcast talking about relationships and the social issues that happen in African American lifestyles. But this is basketball, man. This is why I'm so turned off so much by the WNBA, because nobody talks about this in the NBA. When there's a hard foul put on Jokic or Luka, no one's saying, is LeBron racist, or is LeBron acting too crazy after he fouled somebody? Or if Luka were to foul LeBron, nobody's saying, is Luka Doncic? Now I know they're on the teams now, but if let's say if Luka fouls, I don't know, Brunson, is Luka racist towards Brunson, or are the fans racist? Why is this only in the WNBA? Nobody talks about black versus white in the NBA. Nobody. Why does this only seem to be in the WNBA when we're taking sides? Like this is a race war, or this is the Civil War movement. I mean, not Civil War, Civil Rights movement. Sorry. You can say Civil War too, because they had black and white issues in that too. But why are we going about this when we're talking about a foul? That's all we're talking about was a hard foul. And it's only seemingly, like I say, in the WNBA, every time Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese face off, it's always divided. Some people say you can't even, as a black person, even like Caitlin Clark. You got to be on the side of Angel Reese because she's black. No one says that in the NBA about liking Luka or LeBron or Kevin Durant or Jokic. Nobody says that. Why is this only in the WNBA? Somebody please answer me that. All right, let me play this other video right quick of RG3, his rebuttal, and we're going to try to wrap it up there.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3, and I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys because there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, which was purely based in basketball. But I think all of you know there's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits, and Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm going to have an opinion. This person might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around and personally attack me and my family just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal. But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is. But Ryan, you crossed the line, man. You made it personal and some. I really believe there should be no space in sports media for personal attacks. I've said it before. But certainly personal attacks against wife and children have always been off limits. Ryan, you attacked me and my family in a public forum on a level that shows just how low of a human being you are. You can disagree with me all you want, challenge my takes, but keep my family and my wife out of it. That's a boundary that should always be respected, man. Always. Ryan Clark personally attacking me and my family because he disagreed with my sports opinion is a bad look for
That's all it was. It was a sports opinion.
It's cowardly, it's spineless, and it's weak. Ryan Clark personally attacking me and my family. Personally because he disagreed with my sports opinion is a bad look for him as a man. I hope you get the help you need, brother.
All right, that was that video. Let me put myself back up here. All right, there we go. And I agree with him. It's a sports opinion, man. You took this a little bit too far. And I was like, man, I'm listening to RG3 because really I heard the RG3 thing first, and then I heard Ryan Clark's interview first. I mean, I heard RG3 who responded first. I'm sorry, I'm getting everything mixed up. I heard RG3's response first, rebuttal, and I heard Ryan Clark's podcast where he talked about the situation second. And when I listened to Ryan Clark, I was like, this can't be just over that foul for me. I'm like, this is a little bit too much. It can't be over just that foul between them two. And then when I heard Ryan Clark went on Twitter and he had rebuttal again to RG3, I got my answer. I said, yeah, I knew it had to be something else. Let's see if I can pop it up here. Bruh, you know what time it is with me and you. I saved you the entire season on Monday Night Football. I urge people to let you be you. No matter how corny, how bad a teammate you were, I had your back. What did you do? Invite someone on your show I don't fool with to ask questions about me. And then hit me weeks later to tell me you're going to challenge one of my takes. You're a phony, bro. One of the worst teammates I ever had, both on the field and in TV. You got to do what you got to do. I didn't attack your wife. I spoke on what you do on social media and TV. Like I said, I met your wife and she seemed like a lovely lady that was worth more than the color of her skin. You be good, bruh. You did attack the wife because you said in the household, you are not talking about issues that black women go through. How do you know that? And they may not. I don't know. It may be highly unlikely they do. But you took what was supposed to be an opinion about what Angel Reese thinks about Caitlin Clark, and you turn it into something racial. And I'm not saying that there isn't nothing racial. I don't think there's nothing racial between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I think they're just hardcore basketball players. The problem is the media and the fans have made this bigger than it actually is. I don't think they hate each other. Does Angel Reese maybe have some dislike? Possibly. But I don't think they hate each other. The fans hate either Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese worse than those two ever have. Ever. And the media keeps pumping it out. ESPN keeps pumping it out. Fox keeps pumping it out like they really hate each other. And you guys are eating it up. It's the fans and the media. The media first, because they're putting it out there. And the fans, the casual fans, and I guess the real fans too, you guys are eating it up. You are the ones who are making it worse. Not these two. Angel Reese is trying to live her life. Yeah, I've seen stupid comments I've seen from people, calling her all kinds of names. She don't deserve that. And I've seen the same thing from Angel Reese fans saying the thing about Caitlin Clark. And I'm like, Caitlin ain't said nothing. But it's the media and the fans who are making this out to be worse than it actually is. Larry Bird and Magic really didn't like each other. I don't think they hate each other, but they really didn't like each other, and they went at each other's throats. The Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers, some of them really didn't like each other. That was for real. The Pistons, the Bulls, some of them really didn't like each other. Some of them still to today. Jordan and Isaiah Thomas really don't like each other. That's a real rivalry. If they actually saw each other, they would actually probably throw blows. Not these two. I think if Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese got in a room together, they probably talk and probably laughing at some of the stuff that they hear people say about them. Or if at the most, they just be talking junk to each other. But it's, you guys, stop eating this up. They don't hate each other like you think they do. It's you guys that keep pushing it. And it's really getting tiresome to see. I don't halfway want to watch the games because next thing you know, when ESPN comes up, oh, Angel Reese blinked the wrong way, so she must hate Caitlin Clark. Oh, Caitlin Clark tied her shoes wrong this time. That was a sign that she hates Angel Reese. That's all they do. It's almost like listening to the Inquirer, one of those magazines in the grocery store that be making up fake stories. UFOs picked up the president yesterday. That's how silly the stories come out between those two, and you guys eat it up. Stop it. Really stop it. It's childish at this point. And they're younger than you. Most of the people who are watching the game. That's all I got to say about that. Thanks for joining The Last Ride. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next episode. You guys, be easy and just enjoy the game.